CRTV News, ici, toute l'info.
Mesdames, Messieurs, tout le plaisir est pour moi de vous retrouver en cette matinée du 22 décembre de l'an de grâce 2020 pour notre traditionnel rituel de revue des unes dans Tabloïd sur les antennes de la CRTV en ouverture de Cameroun Tribune ce 22 décembre donc. Session de plein droit pour les conseils régionaux, les 900 premiers conseillers régionaux venus des commandements traditionnels et territoriaux vont devoir, des délégués départementaux vont élire les tout premiers bureaux des exécutifs avec leurs membres. Enjeux et jeux à lire dans les colonnes du quotidien national bilingue Cameroun Tribune de ce 22 décembre 2020. Alors que les collèges électoraux issus des 58 circonscriptions électorales et des chefs des régions, les 10 d'ailleurs, sont à la consolidation de cet acquis immuable de la décentralisation avec en toile de fond un document stratégique notamment dédicacé hier, un ouvrage souvenir en 420 pages de compatibilité avec les actions du Fonds national, le Fonds spécial d'équipement et d'intervention intercommunale, le FEICOM, donc auréolé d'une préface du chef de l'État. Ce document-là a vu la note de lecture du ministre des Sports et de l'Éducation physique, par ailleurs professeur de droit public et de sciences politiques, le professeur Narcisse Mouele Kombi, qui a plongé donc l'assistance dans une sorte de revue de ces grandes interventions du FEICOM, mais également on a vu selon ce journal-là l'accompagnement du ministre Georges Elanga Obam, saluer également les biens fondés pour les familles par le professeur Marie-Thérèse Abena Ondoa. Puis cette info, lui, décide de jouer les rabat-joie ce matin du 22 décembre 2020 avec notamment cette décentralisation calquée sous le prisme, selon ce journal, cette info donc d'un parti, le Rassemblement démocratique au peuple camerounais, qui répondant aux aspirations profondes des Camerounais de tous bords, cette décentralisation serait sacrifiée, selon cette info, à l'autel notamment des égoïsmes du parti de la Flamme. Comment et pourquoi à découvrir donc les colonnes de ce billet hebdomadaire, cette info en kiosque ce matin, plus portée vers un style décontracté et qui frise quasiment le ridicule. Réalité plus au bas de la pliure propose à ses lecteurs l'acte de ce homme, grand barbe blanche, tombé dans les chaumières via les cheminées, notamment c'est le Père Noël camerounais, le président de la République, qui venait donc au secours de près de 500 000 personnes déplacées internes dans des régions du nord-ouest et du sud-ouest résidentes ici à Yaoundé, avec des cadeaux. Donc le quotidien, lui, donne le montant exact. Le quotidien dans ses colonnes, ce 22 décembre 2020, donne donc le montant exact de cette assistance aux populations de ces régions du nord-ouest et du sud-ouest. Ces Camerounais auront trouvé refuge dans la partie francophone du pays. C'est en tout quelques 600 millions de francs CFA selon le quotidien pour redonner le sourire à ces familles plongées dans le flot des tristes souvenirs de ces greniers éventrés à la hâte, souvenirs également de ces viols, vols, décapitations, massacres, kidnappings et bien d'autres. C'est au total donc près de 1000 familles selon le quotidien qui auront bénéficié, je vous en prie, de l'assistance du chef de l'État. Le quotidien fait également écho, clin d'œil à la rencontre des membres et autres hauts gradés de cette association, ou du moins de ce regroupement, là, sur la sûreté et sécurité maritime. Le quotidien qui revient sur cette actualité dans le golfe de Guinée et qui se souvient que le Cameroun avait abrité ici même à Yaoundé, sur les hauteurs du mont Komiada, suivant les éclairages du journal Le Quotidien, sur les hauteurs du mont Komiada, justement, du 24 au 25 juin 2013, ici à Yaoundé. S'était tenue donc la rencontre des chefs d'État et membres du gouvernement sur la sûreté et sécurité maritime dans le golfe de Guinée. Et ce 22 décembre, justement, est date à laquelle les travaux lancés il y a peu là-bas toujours connaîtront un mémorandum qui permettra à ces différentes parties d'harmoniser les stratégies et le dispositif de renforcement opérationnel de surveillance et de lutte contre toutes les formes de criminalité dans le golfe de Guinée, suivant justement les recommandations du sommet du 24 et 25 juin 2013 ici à Yaoundé. Leader Presse s'interroge et s'intéresse sur un leadership d'une personnalité, notamment une élite de Ngomzap, en pôle posture. Désormais, cette bourgade située à quelques encablures de la cité capitale du pays est un pôle posture également, incubateur de développement, vivier du vivre ensemble, socle de la cohésion sociale, repère Constitution, la construction d'un État fort, un et indivisible, des individus qui ont magnifié justement autour du ministre du Travail et de la Sécurité sociale, Grégoire Oona, un leadership et Leader Presse trouve les mots justes pour le dire dans ses colonnes et des images pour une cohérence en rupture de cohérence cette fois-ci et de pertinence et d'accord avec la vision du chef de l'État. C'est naturellement cette enquête-là, ce développement harmonieux des infrastructures sportives et le patrimoine routier à l'aube des grandes messes sportives ici au Cameroun. C'est naturellement vision économique, ce qui revient sur cette actualité-là, le déphasage entre les infrastructures sportives et naturellement les voies d'accès à celles-ci. Cette enquête nous balade entre Japoma, qui donne des frissons, Bepanda, Fandena, Limbe, Bafoussam, Rumde, Adja, entre autres des lourds investissements, mais qui jusqu'ici, le raccordement au réseau routier national ferait problème selon l'enquête de ce journal Vision économique. Eh bien, cet temple de sport roi au Cameroun, à lire donc l'enquête exclusive de Vision économique de ce 22 septembre 2020. Voilà qui vient donc mettre un terme à cette sortie. Plus que 72 heures, c'est la célébration de la nativité, plus la magie de la Noël opérée dans vos différentes familles. Merci d'être toujours au rendez-vous et à demain, Inch'Allah.
The first session, as of right, of the regional councils kickstart today in the 10 regions of Cameroon. According to the Electoral Code, it is at this session that the maiden regional executive bureaus will be designated.
L'Institut universitaire de technologie Fosso-Victor de Banjoun a tenu la 7e session de son conseil de direction. En marge des préoccupations d'ordre académique étudiées par les membres sous la présidence du recteur de l'université de Tchang, le professeur Roger Tchafak Nanfosso, une grande annonce. L'élévation du patriarche Fosso-Victor à la dignité de commandeur des palmes académiques décernées par le Conseil africain et malgache de l'enseignement supérieur, CAMES.
The first meeting of the Technical Committee of Experts on Maritime Security and Safety at the Gulf of Guinea rounds up today at the Yaoundé Hilton Hotel. The experts from Cameroon, Nigeria, Equatorial Guinea and Gabon are looking at concrete measures and evaluating mechanisms to reinforce security in this common maritime space with delicate security problems. The ambassadors of the 4 countries were present at the opening ceremony Monday, chaired by the Secretary General at the Ministry of Defense. The meeting will result in the signing of a draft memorandum of understanding between the countries represented at the meeting.
Passer les fêtes de fin d'année dans la joie et le recueillement, c'est l'esprit du concert de musique religieux organisé par le collectif des chorales de Yaoundé. Le concert, tenu en la paroisse Sainte-Thérèse de l'Enfant Jésus de Fandena à Yaoundé, a regroupé les amoureux du chant religieux.
2020 a grippé toutes nos certitudes. Zéro croissance, zéro relance, zéro zlécaf.
Le choc du Covid nous a fait voir deux choses qui sont très rares en économie. Un choc de la demande et un choc de l'offre.
Et pourtant, le Made in Cameroun se fait plus offensif et sera même porté par la nouvelle SND 30. La Rétro-Éco 2020 rebobine l'espace économique d'une année de tous les contrastes.
La taxe sur les tablettes et téléphones a fait parler d'elle.
Le cajou de tomate habituellement vendu entre 8.
Merci d'être avec nous pour 52 minutes d'émission.
Au-delà des profits confinés, nos invités explorent les promesses de 2021 ce mardi à 21h sur CRTV News.
CRTV News, ici, toute l'info.
Tenue ce 22 décembre du contentieux post-électoral, la session de plein droit, la toute première session de l'année. Ils sont membres donc des institutions et dont les attributions varient en fonction de 2 régions à statut spécial et les 8 autres. Ainsi, au nord-ouest et au sud-ouest, les conseils régionaux vont siéger à l'Assemblée régionale bicamérale et les autres seront au conseil régional. On va suivre cette actualité tout au long de cette journée sur nos différentes plateformes. Cameroun Day Live de ce 22 décembre 2020 se poursuit avec un autre arrêt majeur, la revue de presse en anglais, avec Clarence Gay. Bonjour Clarence.
Bonjour Catherine, bonjour.
Les journaux se sont étendus ce matin sur ce don du chef de l'État aux personnes déplacées.
Yes, Katitulu, internally displaced persons from the northwest and southwest region, they are smiling. They are smiling because they are going to enjoy this festive period as the Xmas celebration, of course, the New Year celebration. Smiling because they are father of the nation. President Paul Biya has once again stretched a hand of solidarity through Minister of Territorial Administration. They received, a huge consignment of gifts worth 6 million CFA francs. The distribution was done yesterday by the Department of Civil Protection at the Ministry of Territorial Administration in the presence of Minat Boss. I'm talking about Atanganji, Paul.
Il y a également la session de plein droit ce 22 décembre par les conseils régionaux.
Yeah, it will be taking place in all 10 regions. After the December 6, it is imperative for, the regional councillors to vote a bureau, a general bureau, in order to, completely put in place that, that domain, that long-awaited domain, is the first ever regional elections taking place. So it needs to be set up so that they can go operational, they can get to work rather. Yeah, it is the last phase of decentralization in the country. Yeah.
Exactement. Toutes ces informations contenues dans la revue de presse.
It is Tuesday, December 22, 2022, the end of 2020 and 24 days left for Cameroon to organize the African Nation Championship. The Chan. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Clarence Nge, and this is Tabloid, or call it Press Review on CRTV and the CRTV News. Our Press Review this morning, we open with Le Quotidien newspaper publication headlines. Fête de fin d'année pour les déplacés internes du Nord-Ouest et Sud-Ouest. Le Quotidien newspaper says internally displaced persons from the Northwest and the Southwest regions resident in Yaoundé have received basic necessities from the head of state, Paul Biya, to spend fun-filled Xmas and the New Year celebrations. They receive these gifts or items at the launch of a special distribution exercise during which the Minister of Territorial Administration, Paul Atanganji, also distributed face masks, reiterating the need to continue guarding against the deadly coronavirus. That is what Le Quotidien is telling us. You can read more of that in that newspaper publication. Still on the same topic, Le Quotidien Réalité Plus says Joyeux Noël et bonne année du président Paul Biya à 500 familles déplacées vivant Yaoundé. That is one of the main headlines of Le Quotidien Réalité Plus newspaper. It says the goods that comprise of cartons of soap, buckets, mattresses, bags of rice, cartons of cooked oil or cartons of oil, face masks, among others, were handed over to the IDPs by officials of the Department of Civil Protection in the Ministry of Territorial Administration. This was under the supervision of Territorial Administration Minister Paul Atanganje. Pages 4 to 5 of Reality newspaper will be telling you more of that. The Guardian Post looks at it this way. It says end of year festivities. In its main headline, President Paul Biya offers 600 million francs CFA award gifts to Anglophone crisis IDPs. The President of the Republic, Paul Biya, has, within the context of the end of year festivities, offered a huge consignment of gifts worth 600 million francs CFA to enable thousands of families displaced as a result of the crisis in the northwest and southwest regions to enjoy Christmas and New Year celebration. The Lone English Language Daily further says President Biya offer to the affected population was unveiled in Yaoundé yesterday, December 21, 2020. This was during a ceremony presided over by the Minister of Territorial Administration, Paul Atanganje. The occasion took place at the esplanade of the Yaoundé City Council. The gifts comprise of rice, vegetable oil, fish, savon, buckets, face masks, mattresses, and you can name the rest. Page 3 of that story, you can find it. You can find more of that story in page 3 in the Guardian newspaper. Still on the Guardian Post newspaper, this story says suspected Amber fighters kill young Sport Academy team manager. Sad indeed. Gunmen, the newspaper publication says gunmen believed to be separatist fighters are said to be the authors of the reported Monday, December 21 assassination of Difon Aqua Alphonse, team manager of Young Sport Academy, Yosa of Bamenda, that's in the northwest region. Says some locals recounted that gunmen opened a fire at Difon in a beer parlor found in the Old Town vicinity of Bamenda. The incident is reported to have transpired at 2 a.m. Breaking Monday morning. Page 8. We'll be telling you of that human interest story that is in the Guardian Post newspaper publication. The Chronicle Times says Ayabacho Capo Daniel on the international terrorism spyglass. This newspaper publication says why the Norwegian security has been briefed over Ayaba ordered killings, destruction. The Hong Kong police has opened investigation against Capo Daniel over same issue. And another story to find in the Chronicle Times is armed robbers, that's Amber Boys, armed robbers, that's they're passing, now pretending to be freedom fighters. That is what the Chronicle Times is saying in one of its top stories this morning. Direct Info newspaper talks about Public Works Minister inaugurate 400-meter long bridge over River Sanaga, that's in the center region. One of Cameroon's longest bridges constructed over the River Sanaga in the Bam and Kim division of the center region has been inaugurated. This newspaper publication says the bridge, which is considered a jewel, was launched Friday by Public Works Minister Emmanuel Gano Jumesi. The bridge is part of Bachenga Tui Road, linking the center region to the northern parts of the country. More of that story, you will get it in Direct Info newspaper publication. And Cameroon Tribune talks about Cameroon Central Africa borders. It says security has been stepped up owing to the influx of refugees from the neighboring Central African Republic on the eve of a presidential election. It says East Regional Governor Gregoire Vongo was in the border locality of Garabulai recently to ascertain that all is well. Page 2 of the national bilingual daily Cameroon Tribune has more of that story. And we round up this press review with the Post newspaper. A headlines remembering Francis Ouache 1 year after this newspaper publication. Talks about the journalist and publisher he was of the Post newspaper. Francis Kongyu Ouache passed on this time last year, same time last year in Buea, Southwest region, after suffering from a brief illness. Before his death, he was heading the SDF municipal list for the February 9, 2020 twin polls. That's in Cork Council in the Northwest region. He is remembered by many to have inspired a good number of journalists. He began his professional journalism in 1990 when he joined the pioneer editorial team of Cameroon Life magazine as a senior writer. Page 4 of the Post newspaper, the bi-weekly, will be giving you more of Francis Ouache. That was it for Tabloid this morning. Do have a wonderful time. God bless you, and thanks for being there.
Merci beaucoup Clarence Gay pour toutes ces informations relayées par les quotidiens ce matin, les informations qui nous situent dans l'environnement politique de cette journée avec la session de plein droit qui va donc se tenir ce mardi 22 décembre 2020 où le bureau du Conseil régional va donc avoir droit de citer. Les journaux ont donné plein de détails sur la nouvelle nomenclature de cet organe qui est partie intégrante du processus de décentralisation au Cameroun. Et maintenant, on va parler d'économie. La page éco de cette édition sera animée par Beatrice Ngoum qui nous a rejoint dans ce studio. Hello Beatrice.
Good morning Cathy and Merry Christmas.
Ah merci, joyeux Noël à vous également. La fête de la Nativité qui se célèbre donc dans quelques jours, même si en tant que chrétiens catholiques, nous sommes désormais dans le temps de l'Avent. On va se retrouver dans quelques instants, juste après ceci. Alors, Beatrice, on va commencer par l'actualité de la journée. Une seule information.
Exactly, Cathy. A while ago, I was telling you Merry Christmas. I'm saying so because we are during the Christmas period. There's a lot of buying out there, and government and even some private initiatives are being taken to help people purchase Christmas goods cheap this period. We are talking there about a mini agro-pastoral show that's being organized now at the National Museum. So Yaoundé city dwellers can as well go there and do their Christmas purchases at very affordable prices.
Et maintenant, on va parler de la nouvelle Société nationale des mines qui a été créée donc, par le président de la République. Est-ce qu'on peut en savoir plus sur cet organe?
Yes, Cathy, that cooperation comes to make us understand that Cameroon has got a lot of potential as far as the mining sector is concerned. You know that we have the East, which is very known by all, but we also have potential in other regions of Cameroon that people do not even know.
Oui, parce qu'on a l'impression que les richesses minières se trouvent uniquement dans la région de l'Est.
People think that it's only in the East region, but that's not the case in Cameroon. We have mineral resources even in the Northwest. Do you know that? So because of that cooperation that has been created, our newsroom wants to explain to people the different places where we have this potential that can be developed to make Cameroon's economy to become a booming one by 2035. And Joyce Lepti, in the following report, will be showing to us those different parts of Cameroon that have a lot of mineral resources that can be exploited.
Cameroon has a huge geological potential for numerous minerals spread throughout its 10 regions. As a glimpse, the Central region, we can find uranium, ethane, and rupture. In the Adamawa region, bauxite iron ore is also found. The East region also count gold, diamond, and nickel. The Northwest region is not left out. We have iron ore in Kambe and Messager, Adamelite and outcrop in Dob. Southwest region has huge deposit of natural gas and petrochemicals, amongst others. The South region, we can also find iron, natural gas and bauxite. The Far North region also can find sapphire, granite and limestone. The rare soils are found in the West region, rare as its name in the world. In the Adamawa, there is bauxite and cobalt. In the North region, gold, diamond and iron ore. This list is far from being exhaustive, as over 300 new mineral discoveries were announced recently by the Minister of Mines in Cameroon. Despite this mineral wealth, there are only 4 ongoing mineral projects in the country. We have the Mbalam iron ore, the Nkamona nickel cobalt project, bauxite development project in Minimatap and Gaundal, Mobilong diamond mining project. In all, one can rightly say all regions of Cameroon are mineral heavens.
You see?
Voilà, c'est très impressionnant.
Most of us just knew that we have mineral resources only in the East region, but now you've understood.
On a suivi tout à l'heure la bauxite dans la région de l'Adamawa. Ah, d'accord. Alors, comment est-ce que toutes ces richesses minières ce potentiel minier peut créer de la richesse au Cameroun? Comment est-ce que cela sera organisé?
Well, experts are saying that this sector can be used to create wealth, to create jobs, but to do that, there is supposed to be collaboration between the state and those who are in the mining sector. Maybe the creation of this corporation that will be handling the problems of natural resources of mining in Cameroon is going to help put that into place. What do I mean by that? It's going to be like a platform through which people can come into the country and work with those who are already in the sector but are not legal, because there's a lot of illegal exploitation going out there in those different regions, because it's not an organized sector.
Tout va être normalisé.
Exactly. So with this, the creation of this corporation is going to be organized, and the state now can better function or better act with those who are already in that sector. And Clarice Aretaka went and spoke to experts for them to explain to us what can really be done to organize the mining sector so that it can produce riches or wealth for our economy.
An immeasurable underground of inestimable wealth, Cameroon's mineral potential holds the promise of jobs for the population and much-needed cash for the state coffers. Industry experts hold that building on these assets is achievable if the necessary keys are in place.
The mining permit the state provides is money. You have to valorize building now what we call the subdivision mining corporation. Each subdivision has to request and obtain an exploration mining license, and the local stakeholders has to be involved.
Many decry the clandestine nature of activities, which they regret have robbed the state of thousands of billions of CFA francs.
The state has the power to gather all the gold produced in our country, and then you put it in our bank. This bank will give you its caution money, and then you will invest with return in investment. We have to build strong cooperation with big companies involved in the mining.
The changing tides in global oil prices has brought with it a race to diversify economies by plowing into sources which can do well and even better for domestic revenue mobilization. Opinions hold that mining is a perfect fit.
Voilà, Vitry, c'est un secteur qui donne beaucoup d'espoir au Cameroun.
Exactly.
Malheureusement, ça ne se passe pas très bien dans la filière production de riz dans la région du Nord-Ouest, une filière qui a été largement influencée par le Covid-19.
Cathy, not by COVID-19. COVID-19 is just one of their problems.
Ah, d'accord.
Their major problem is the socio-political crisis in that part of the region because of the prevailing insecurity in the Northwest. So it has hindered the production of rice, especially in the plains, because that is where rice is being produced. You have heard about the UNVDA rice. That's where it is produced in the Northwest. But because of the socio-political crisis, a lot of farmers cannot go to their farms. Why? Because they fear being kidnapped by the separatist fighters. So they stay at home. There are assaults every day. There are road blockages all the time. So
ils ont finalement tout abandonné.
They have abandoned a bulk of their farms are unexploited because of the socio-political crisis, not because of COVID-19. And now they are struggling to see how they can get back on their feet. And one of our correspondents in CRTV Northwest visited them, and this is what he gathered.
4 months after a routine rice seed nursing, the Ndop rice production chain enters a decisive harvesting phase.
The farm that harvested 30 bags of rice last year, I am unable to harvest 14 bags. When you get out and you are going to the farm and there is a gunshot, normally you go back.
It stretches across an approximate 3,500 hectares of land, but that's largely insufficient for a swampy area with over 15,000 hectares of land favorable for rice cultivation. Rice processing, a process that involves many local farmers, is limited by aging infrastructure.
He's 39 years old. At that time, the capacity was 3.5 tons of paddy per hour. But now, given the age of the machine, the capacity has dropped to about between 2.5 and 3.
Focus is now tilted towards revamping the local rice production to limit massive rice importation into the country.
We are targeting to have maybe 50,000 tons within the next 2 years.
Improved personnel numbers is also perceived as critical for only 20 farmers sustain activities in this rice farm in the Ndop Plain.
Voilà, les producteurs de riz qui ont donc été soutenus par le gouvernement, ça se passera beaucoup mieux dans cette partie du pays, malheureusement. Dans la région.
That is their wish.
Ah oui,
For now, it's not yet the case, but that is their wish.
Mais c'est
it's
un
not
début
like
quand
government
même,
is not supporting them. Government is supporting them, but the crisis has just come to make things worse for them. But they are hopeful. If you hear what they are saying, they are hopeful that there will be better days ahead if the gunshots cease.
On garde tout espoir. Pendant ce temps, dans la région de l'Ouest, le secteur tomate a été très influencé par la crise sanitaire au Covid-19.
Exactly, Katsi. You remember some time back we were here with images of tomatoes that were on the market. No buyers.
Les prix étaient très instables.
I tell you, the prices went as low as 1,500 francs for a basket of tomatoes. So now they are struggling to get back on their feet after COVID. Tomatoes the prices are high now or are better now on the market, but then they still have a lot of problems in the tomato and watermelon sector, and that is why the Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development last week visited them in the West region, those who are into the production of tomatoes and watermelon, to see how they can work together so that they can revamp their activities. He went there with financial assistance from government to them to help them revamp their sector.
Here at this vast 150-hectare tomato farm in Fumbot, where the minister made his first stop, the intensity of tomato farming in the subdivision was already glaring.
I was very, very astonished by what I've seen. Professionals, people that know what they are doing on the field.
At the Food Crop Farmers Cooperative Head Office, Coprovinun, the minister handed over a heavy consignment of farm inputs to the farmers hard hit by the COVID-19 pandemic.
With the pandemic, COVID-19, they have lost a lot of money. So I'm here to make them know that the government will support them with improved seed, with fertilizer, with sprayer tools, and with motor pump.
Amongst the many good tidings he brought along was that of the creation of a mega sub-regional market in Fumbot. In a similar vein, Bangangte tomato and watermelon farmers also tasted of the fatherly love of President Paul Biya. The beneficiaries were full of thanks.
Very happy for what the head of state has done to us. It's something like, it's not something like everybody can have it, but if you find yourself in this situation, you should be very proud.
In the sidelines, the board chair and his assistant of the West Union of Farmers Cooperatives, UCAO, plus other top-ranking officials were elected and installed under the supervision of the minister, with a call for them to give a new impetus to the coffee sub-sector.
Yes, Cathy, you saw that the minister went there with a lot of assistance for those farmers.
Voilà, c'est un secteur qui va se relever certainement dans les prochains jours. Et nous terminons en Beatrice par le chiffre du jour, 600 millions de francs CFA. Qu'est-ce qu'il représente?
600 million CFA francs, that's the amount government has used, or it's a donation from the head of state that has been used to purchase items or gifts for IDPs and vulnerable persons for this Christmas period. And the distribution exercise started yesterday at the Hotel de Ville, as you will call, at the Esplanade of the Hotel de Ville. And it was done by the Minister of Territorial Administration, Paul Atangandji.
Merci beaucoup, Beatrice Ngoum, d'avoir été avec nous et à mardi prochain.
My pleasure, Cathy, and once more, Merry Christmas.
À vous également.
Agripper toutes nos certitudes. Zéro croissance, zéro relance, zéro zlécaf.
Le choc du Covid nous a fait voir deux choses qui sont très rares en économie. Un choc de la demande et un choc de l'offre.
Et pourtant, le Made in Cameroun se fait plus offensif et sera même porté par la nouvelle SND 30.
Do you think it's possible with the SND 30?
La Rétro-Éco 2020 rebobine l'espace économique d'une année de tous les contrastes.
La taxe sur les tablettes et téléphones a fait parler d'elle.
Le cajou de tomate habituellement vendu entre 8.
Merci d'être avec nous pour 52 minutes.
Au-delà des profits confinés, nos invités explorent les promesses de 2021 ce mardi à 21h sur CERT TV News.